When you travel the world, there's no brand as famous as Nederburg in the wine world. Whether I'm in Brazil, in China, any wine lover knows Nederburg. It's probably the most valued or appreciated brand from South Africa with such a global distribution. And for years, it's been the anchor of any restaurant anywhere in South Africa, and it's still a very revered brand all around the country. One of the key product, I should not say product because that's a great wine, but it's a big company, so we can say product, is Edelrood. That was the classic Bordeaux blend with two components. It's Cabernet Sauvignon, Merlot blend, very classic, always delivering, but for the vintage 2019. What do you think about it, Kathy?
So, a lovely hue. There's a little bit, I always describe a cardinal cloak, the red, black, blue character of Cab and Merlot in the glass. If I were to just say to you these words, let's see if you can think it then through. There's some eucalypt, some mint, some black plums, underlying blackberry, maybe a hint of tomato leaf, all on the nose.
Yeah, clothing to the spearmint and the eucalyptus, you can get this tomato leaf, yeah.
Then on the palate, there's a real juicy sweetness, once again relying on the black fruit driving it. It's got a plump middle. Really, out of all the wines that we've tasted today, this has probably got the fullest mid-palate. After a quite fresh attack on the inside, then a really mouth-filling mid-palate, and then slides away to the end. And a sweet, sour, almost acid twist that gives it life.
I think it's the quintessence of why people blend Merlot and Cabernet Sauvignon together. Cabernet Sauvignon on its own can be, when you say eucalyptus, can be too green, too acid, sometimes too astringent on its own, while Merlot gives all the roundness, the sweetness. I mean, when I say sweetness, I don't mean sugar. I mean roundness and velvetiness on the palate. And blending the Merlot, it's like the Merlot is taming the Cabernet Sauvignon, which otherwise would be overpowering. And I think that's the exercise here. You have still all the spiciness that's coming from the Cabernet Sauvignon, and you describe hints of mint, eucalyptus, and pepper. And at the same time, this black plum coming from the Merlot, which just wrap it together because probably the Cabernet on its own would be a bit harsh or a bit rustic, while the Merlot gives a good balance to the blend.
I think the blend is very well balanced. And as I say, both of those grapes working together to plump out the mid-palate, and then that lovely juicy fruit sweetness, which South Africans really love on their red wines, and which I think we deliver well to the rest of the world.
I think here you'll have to find on the blind tasting some sweetness and roundness on the middle palate, but still with this zingy freshness. It's not an extra long palate, it's lingering for a few seconds in your mouth, but after having this roundness, then you got just this fresh zing that rebalancing the wine to avoid that it's going into something too heavy or too flabby. It's actually extremely well balanced for the finish.
And the tannins are not standout. They're not astringent, they're well managed, and they give you just enough grip for you to have it with food as well as maybe sip by itself.
Yeah, you will not find astringency here. You'll find a bit of grip, but nothing that will put you off. It's a wine that can probably go perfect for food pairing, but you can drink it like that. It's not that so geeky that you have to find a specific dish to go with it. It's really enjoyable. And yes, some people might look at the middle palate sweetness as a bit easy approachable, but hey, wine is meant to be enjoyed.
Correct.
And that's a very enjoyable wine.
Correct.
Thank you.